Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for GoldMine 101, our regular series of GoldMine presentations. And this morning I'm going to focus more on the various remote access options we've got for GoldMine. Now this presentation will be fairly short, about a quarter of an hour or so, so it's just an overview of the options available, nothing in depth. And we'd always recommend the best option for you, for your company, once we know your requirements. Now on the call today, we've got people on all sorts of different versions. There's about 35 people on the call. Pretty much everything I mentioned to you is relevant to all versions going, but I will state any system requirements in brief. So that you can see whether you need to upgrade or not to take advantage of that option. Now the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel, and I'll do my best to answer those at the end of the session. It's probably best to type those in as you think of them rather than waiting to the end of the session. Also, at the end, I'll give you a brief update on any GoldMine product news just to keep you in the loop. And this call is being recorded. After the presentation, you'll receive an email from our system, probably after a day or so, with a link to the recording, and we'll most likely post it up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started. As I normally do, just a very brief mention about ourselves, Wizard Systems. We're based near Bristol. We cover the whole UK and further afield. We've, over the last couple of decades or so, we've been implementing well over 3,000 GoldMine systems into all sorts of different types of companies and size of companies. And we offer lots of services around GoldMine to make sure you get the most out of your investment as regards implementation help with upgrades, customizing GoldMine, integrating GoldMine with other applications in your business. We also supply a wide range of GoldMine add-ons, which is some of the products I'm going to be talking about today are really essentially add-ons to the GoldMine system, extending its functionality in specific ways. And also we provide all sorts of different types of training. We can train you at your place. You can come to our training center. As I say, we're based near Bristol, or we can do it online. Increasingly, we're doing a lot of training online on any aspect of GoldMine. And finally, we've got a friendly, responsive help desk ready here to answer all of your calls. So the remote, now these are the main remote access options I'm going to describe this morning. These are the typical ones that we find out there in the GoldMine community that our clients are using right now. We use all in Wizard Systems. We use all of these in combination. There's nothing to stop you using a combination of these within your own installation. So first of all, we've got remote synchronization, sometimes referred to as GoldSync. It was a separate product with GoldMine. Now it's all part of GoldMine. Then I'm going to go through GoldMine Web, the new GoldMine Web feature, which is included with the latest version of GoldMine. Then wMobile, a very popular mobile add-on to GoldMine, as the word suggests. And finally, a couple of applications that are fairly similar, GoGo Global and Remote Desktop Services, formerly known as Terminal Server, a bit of Microsoft technology there, but essentially software to allow you to publish your applications to allow other people to access GoldMine and other related business office applications. So first of all, remote synchronization. So this is part of all current versions of GoldMine, and it's sometimes referred to as GoldSync. Basically, it's a way of installing GoldMine on a remote user's laptop or maybe a home PC or even another office. This could be another office location. And then using synchronization is a way securely via the web or a network connection. These two systems are talking to each other on a frequency that you decide, but basically in that process they're exchanging any new or changed information to GoldMine, new records, updates to activities, emails, even we've even got support for attached files as well. So this has always been in GoldMine, still very much a part of GoldMine. We've got lots of customers still using this capability. Of course, very beneficial if wherever the remote user is, if they've got very poor internet access or access to the office system. So they can, if you like, this is an offline copy of GoldMine, so they can be off doing their own thing with GoldMine, updating records, sending and receiving emails, and then when they get a connection, Wi-Fi, back at their home location, they can click a button, and then that communication happens in a two-way direction. So they're kept in the loop. They get updates from the office. They're shoving their updates back up to the office system. So as I say, everything's kept in the loop. The slight disadvantage with this setup is that you have a separate you could have many separate installations of GoldMine. So of course you've got your main installation of GoldMine at your office location, but then you've got other users with their own copies of GoldMine. So when an upgrade comes along, then you need to think about the logistics of that and making sure updates are done. Normally it's not too onerous, but it's a thing to consider. And also, if someone's laptop changes, then it needs to be installed, a fresh installation, or a salesperson changes, then there's a process that we need to go through to have that reinstalled on a new laptop or under a new user ID there. So that's synchronization, or GoldSync. Next, GoldMine Web. So GoldMine Web is part of the latest version of GoldMine, and this is a way of accessing via your browser, via your favorite browser or your tablet, all of your key GoldMine information. At the moment, because it's a fairly new feature of GoldMine, at the moment it's just got access to the basic areas of GoldMine, your contact records, your company and contact records, your activities, there's also some limited support for email integration, and finally opportunities. Now GoldMine Web, as time goes on, you will see with new versions of GoldMine coming out a lot more functionality being added in. For example, in the next major release of GoldMine, which is going to be 2016.1, which is supposed to be in the next month or two's time, there will be support for cases, customer support cases, and potentially later on dashboards as well. So we're rolling out, there's more functionality coming into the GoldMine Web product. Also part of GoldMine Web, it's what they call mobile responsive. So if you have a smartphone, iPhone, then I mean this is a rendition here of a browser screen, but on a mobile device being a smaller screen, it renders itself more appropriately to the size of the screen. So a nice way of accessing basic GoldMine information when you're on the go via your browser, your Mac, or your smartphone as well. And I say that this is part of GoldMine, and there will be more functionality being rolled out as each major release comes out there. Right. Next one is wMobile for GoldMine. wMobile has been available now for probably about 8-9 years, so well-established mobile solution for GoldMine, well respected within the GoldMine community. We supply it in the UK. It is actually 3 products in one. As the word suggests, it's mostly a mobile access solution for GoldMine from your smartphone, and compared to GoldMine Web, it does support more features of GoldMine than the GoldMine Web or the old GoldMine mobile product. So if your mobile users, if you're working on a smartphone, you want access to more features and capabilities of GoldMine, then wMobile might have the edge over something like, say, GoldMine Web. As I say, there's 3 components to this when you get wMobile. So the main thing is this phone client, mobile app if you like, and then also there's a browser access to GoldMine, rather a bit like GoldMine Web, but a different look and feel to the screens, a different interface layout there. So you've got a nice web access to GoldMine. And thirdly, there's a clever bit of email integration within the software. There's a bit like a sort of background email server. So we can integrate basically GoldMine with any email system. So we can, so if you're using Notes or some uncommon email system, shall I say, you're not using Outlook or one of the common ones, we can have in the background, we can actually use wMobile for, as users are receiving emails, they're being copied into the GoldMine system, being matched against the client's record by their email address. A nice way of, again, maintaining that client email history in GoldMine. So sort of three sort of products in one with wMobile. Right, Go Global. Go Global is a low-cost bit of software that we install on your server, and then it allows you to access all of your favorite Office applications, not just GoldMine, all of your favorite Office applications via your browser or your tablet. So as I say, it's very low cost. It'll pretty much work on any current server, and a quick implementation as well. And you'll see you're basically accessing GoldMine just as you see it right now, either within your browser or full screen as well. There's a few options of how your Office applications will work. And as I say, it's not just GoldMine. We could have, on the main server, we could have Sage 50 there, published. We could be Word, Excel, any other related applications. So your remote users, without any software, so nothing installed on the remote user, very, very secure, no data at the remote user end. It's a bit like, if you imagine, it's a bit like having a really long keyboard cable, a mouse cable, and you're accessing your favorite Office applications via the web. So that's Go Global, low cost, very easy to use. And finally, the last major one I want to mention, which we often find in larger organizations, is remote desktop services, or formerly known as terminal services or terminal server. This is, so remote desktop services is, it enables users to access their Office-based desktops, desktop PCs, virtual machines, virtual machine-based applications, or anything in the main office within their corporate, with access to the corporate network or via the web. So this is part of Microsoft Windows Server. There is a cost to it. You'd need to consult your normal Microsoft supplier or whoever you got your servers from, your normal local IT supplier, for more information on the deployment and pricing options. But we do find this is sometimes a better solution where you have a very high number of users or high volume applications, and this is very common. We find this implemented already, being used with lots of other different applications. So that's remote desktop services. As regards what's the best solution for you, well, it's all down to your own requirements. What functionality does the remote user need? Security requirements, your budget, time frames, they're all factors to consider in us recommending the right solution for you. And there's nothing stopping you having a combination of all of those. I mean, we at Wizard Systems, we use pretty much all of those in combination, and wherever we are, in whatever circumstances, whatever device we've got, whether it's a tablet, phone, our normal Office laptop, that could dictate the way that we would log in there and access our live GoldMine system. So it's that time of the session when I'm opening out now to any questions you may have, any interesting questions you may have, hopefully around this topic, but I'm more than happy in answering any questions you've got on general GoldMine areas or topics. So please locate your question section in your meeting control panel. I'd be happy to answer any questions you've got there. So first question from Simon, why would anyone use synchronization? Good question, Simon. I mean, this has always been available in GoldMine, and we've still got many clients using synchronization. I would say probably about 25% or a third of our clients, large, typically implementations, say over 5 users, are still using GoldSync or synchronization in some way. Maybe just one user, maybe the MD using synchronization, having GoldMine on his or her laptop and synchronizing backwards and forwards. So there still is an argument for synchronization. But as I say, it could run hand in hand with other more live access to GoldMine as well. So hopefully that answers your question, Simon. Next question from Anton, what's the cost of Go Global? So Go Global, there's a one-off cost of £129 plus VAT if you're in the UK, £129 as a one-off cost. It's actually a concurrent license. So when you're thinking about Go Global, you need to think, well, how many users would we have at any one point in time wanting to access any of our office applications via the web? And that would be the figure that we come up with. Our implementation, depending on what options you want, is a couple of hours or so to add on top, and we could give you a quote for that, Anton, if you wish. Next question from Marcia. What's the best way of restricting access to remote users? Well, this depends, of course, on the remote access option that you choose with synchronization. When we install GoldMine on a separate PC or laptop, there's a little filter within GoldSync to actually prevent records going to that remote user, so you can actually just give them a slice of the pie, if you like, of data going to that, and you can then bring all data back from that remote user. All of the other options do observe GoldMine security and record ownership. There's a feature of GoldMine called record ownership. That's where you can prevent certain users or a group of people seeing or making certain records read-only. So all of the other options should support those access options there, Marcia. Next question from Stuart, is GoldMine Web real-time? Yes, Stuart, it is. It's live, real-time. So all of the options would be live and real-time apart from GoldMine synchronization, where you're only going to be up to date as of the last synchronization. Next question from Steve. We're considering tablets for our field salespeople, particularly the Windows Surface. Are they compatible with GoldMine? Yes, Steve, I actually use the Surface myself. I prefer, on my Surface, I prefer to use either the Go Global or the remote desktop services. For the Surface being a Microsoft thing, it's got fairly good support for remote desktop services. So that would be the goal. The ideal thing is that you just have one installation of GoldMine as much as possible. So this is one system to manage and one system to update, and when you're deploying all the security bits and pieces, then just got one system to consider there. So Steve, yeah, Windows Surface fine. I use it myself, and there is a little app that you can get, a free app for the Windows Surface called Remote Desktop Connection or something like that, and that will give you access to your server in the office, and then there'll be a live, like Stuart's question, there'll be a live link back into the office. No data, no GoldMine on the Surface. Obviously they'll need a Wi-Fi connection there, but it's a very good performance. You'll find that pretty good, and also Go Global would work as well in that scenario. Next question from Steve, what's the approximate additional cost of the different solutions not included with GoldMine? Okay, so Go Global 129 As regards remote desktop, Steve, please consult, well, probably the published prices were put up on the Microsoft website somewhere, but they can be, in my experience, they can be a little bit confusing. So you best consult your local IT supplier there. Next question from Caroline. What is the best way to access GoldMine emails on a smartphone? Well, it does depend on what email system you use. Pretty much, well, GoldMine Web does have support for accessing your emails when you're on your phone and having them visible to your GoldMine colleagues back in the office as you're doing your answering and sending emails. So GoldMine Web will do it, and also wMobile as well. wMobile has got very good support for email and probably a better support for email, more options than GoldMine Web, and it does have that background. wMobile does have this background email server type feature solution, so in the background, whatever email system you're using on your phone, it can be taking those and copying them into the appropriate record in GoldMine. Next question from Thomas. Where is GoldMine Web hosted? It's actually on your own server, Thomas. This is a part of GoldMine. It needs to be installed. It's a component that needs to be installed, but it does come with all the latest versions of GoldMine. So you must first of all be on the very latest, or one of the most recent versions of GoldMine, ideally 2015.2, which is the latest release there. And then someone or we would need to install, it just takes about an hour or so to install GoldMine Web. So it's actually hosted on your server very securely behind your firewall for your users. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions coming through. If any late questions do come through, if I'm not able to spot them, I'll answer those separately via email after the call. So just as regards wrapping up now, any other business. So latest hotfix is 2015.2. We were expecting a hotfix last week. These hotfixes, they come out normally every month towards the end of the week, and I suspect that the hotfix may be awaiting, or probably won't. Hotfix number 5 may not happen because 2016, our next major release, 2016.1, is due out late May or early June, so we hear, and we will be featuring that on one of our Tuesday sessions, of course, once we know more information about this new release. We've got places on a GoldMine introduction course at our Bristol office on the 25th of May, so if you've got any new starters, you want them to be taken through the main aspects of the day-to-day use of GoldMine, you'd be very welcome. Please contact me for more information on that, or Maxine here at the office. As always, I'd be very interested in hearing about any suggestions you got for future topics, something that just takes a few minutes of our time on a Tuesday morning, something that's relevant to all users, a burning topic of good general appeal. Please email me any suggestions, tim@wizard-systems.com. Okay, well, thanks very much for your time this morning. I do appreciate that and your support of our company and GoldMine. Please look out for our next session. We'll probably be doing a mail out towards the end of the week or Monday on our next Tuesday topic. But thanks very much indeed, and have a nice day.